Hi, so I want to give you a few more examples to help you with that worksheet if you need these. Now you're not going to have to calculate any total rises. I give them to you on the worksheet, so I'll just give you some rises here. All right, what happens if we have a 44-inch total rise? Okay. Now again, I'm going to start up my 7 3/4 max just to see if by chance I'll be able to get as high as I can with each of those treads. So I take 44 inches. Divided by 7 3/4 of an inch, and I get 5.67. Okay, now this is in inches, this is steps, okay, but I can't have a 0.67 of a step, so I'm going to round up. Again, you always round up, even if this ended up being 5.2, you always got to round up the number of steps. Okay, so I'm going to have 6 steps. And now I got to calculate, do division again, but this time to calculate, hey, how high is each of those 6 steps going to be? 44 divided by 6, and I get 7.333. Now this is in inches here. All right, I can't measure 0.333 on a tape measure, so I have to find out approximately how many 16ths of an inch that is. And to do that, the easiest way really is just to take the decimal part of this number only and multiply it by 16. If I do that, okay, I get 5.33. Okay, now this is in terms of sixteenths though. 5.33 sixteenths. Again, I took the decimal part of this inch amount and I multiplied it by 16 to tell me how many sixteenths I have. Alright, now on this one I'm also going to round up always, okay, because I'd rather at the end have a little higher amount. Each riser is going to be a little bit higher, okay, because then I can shave some off if I need to, okay? And also as I'm measuring, as I'm taking my Sterinox and my builder's square and I'm laying out these cutouts, okay, I know that as I'm measuring I can just do a little bit less than 6/16 or 3/8, okay? But so each of my risers, my riser cuts that are going to be 7 3/8 of an inch. Okay, so I erased the work there. I put up my riser cut 7 3/8 of an inch. All right, now again, I told you to just use the minimum for the tread cuts. Okay, so we're just going to say, hey, 10 inches is going to be our tread cut. All right, unless there's some situation that makes you have to go more than that. Okay, that's the minimum. We're just going to leave it at 10 inches. All right, so what's the total run then? Now I told you to with these practice problems to always go with the situation, okay, where you have your subfloor using it as one of your rises. Okay. So if I have my riser cuts at 7 3/4 or 7 3/8, and I had six of those. So in other words, one, two, three, four, five, 6 rises. Okay. Notice that I have one less amount of treads. Okay. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 because we don't need a tread down here at the bottom. Alright, so I'm going to take 5 times how long each one of those tread cuts are, 10 inches, and that's going to give us our total run of 50 inches. Alright, now to approximate how long the board I need to get at the stringer board, I'm going to take my total run, square it, and add it to my total rise squared, and then take the square root using Pythagorean theorem. So 44 squared plus 50 squared is going to give me my length of my stringer board I should have. Alright, once I go through that math, I end up with 66.6 inches. Alright, and that is approximately close to 6 feet. Alright, 6 feet is 72 inches. So I can go to the store and reasonably, I'd say 6-footer would be enough for me. A 2x10, 6 feet of a 2x10 material. Alright, I'll do one more example a little bit faster this time. Let's say my total rise, okay, this is like a basement, is 9 feet. I'll go this way. 9 feet 4 inches. Okay. Alright, well 9 feet is 108 inches plus my 4 gives me 112 inches of total rise. So just keep it as inches. Okay. Alright, so I'm going to divide that by 7 3/4 of an inch. And I get 14 0.45 steps. And remember, I'm always going to round up the amount of steps, so I need 15 steps. And then I take my total rise, and I'm going to divide it up into 15 pieces. What are each of those riser heights going to be? All right, it's going to be 7.46 repeating inches. That's really close to 7.5, but let's just double check. I'm going to take my 0.46, I'm going to times it by 16 to see how many 16ths. Alright, and I get it to be 7.36 sixteenths, but again, we're always going to round up with the sixteenths as well, so 8 sixteenths, which does in fact equal 1/2 an inch. Alright, so my riser height, my riser cut, I'm going to cut those at 7.5 inches. All right, and then I'm ready to calculate my total run, because I'm assuming, remember, that my tread cut is going to be 10 inches. All right, and if you take one less the amount of risers that we had, okay, which 15 risers what we had, we're using the subfloor as one of them, we only end up having 14 treads then. So 10 times 14 gives us 140 inches as our total run. Now I can take my total rise times squared plus my total run squared and square root them to find out how long of a stringer board I might need. So I take 112 squared plus 140 squared, I get 1254 plus 1960 or 600, and then I get 32,144. If I square root that, I end up with 179.2 inches. Now, if I divide that by 12, I figure out approximately how many feet that is, and it's almost 15 feet. But I can't buy a 15-footer from the store, most likely. Usually they come in even increments. So I'm going to buy a 16-footer, and the size, again, for stringers typically is a 2x10. Okay, so I'm going to buy a 16-footer that's 2x10 material.